We're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. They're going to turn their mics on in just a moment. There we go.
We could.
We could,
Possibly.
or you could just have me keep rambling on.
I was waiting for Brooke to get here and push the button.
I didn't even know what sport I wanted to do, actually. You guys got any requests, Terry?
Why don't we just go ahead and get into this basketball? He's
Since
been
y'all
talking
were.
about
Go
joking.
ahead.
He's been sending this
Go ahead.
stupid text messages.
Well, I'll
again.
tell you what. I tell you what we can start with is the Charlotte Hornets almost knocked off the best team in the East last night.
my daughter unfortunately was a little under the weather and couldn't make it to the game, but she said, that the Hornets had the lead late in the game. But when you're playing a team that's not having a very good season, sometimes you get a little bit lazy, and I think that's what happened last night.
Our resident woman beater Miles Bridges had 46 points last night, so that's he went off. They couldn't stop him. So Nurkic is really big. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that man in person, Tom. Like he's something to have down there. I will say that that's something. I know that they were going to get rid of was it Mark? What's his name? Williams.
Yeah.
Like Nurkic, he's a big body. LaMelo only had 13. He played his normal.
He was in foul trouble.
Yeah, he did foul out actually at the end of the game. Tom, he had his little cheering section up in the upper deck. Every time he touched it, they would scream. And the Diabate, where's he from? Is that State? That's not a State player, is he? Musa Diabate.
I don't.
Michigan.
I was
Okay.
getting ready to say, I don't think.
I know y'all had some names last year. I couldn't remember.
Our guys playing across the ocean.
So this dude, I'll say this. Last night he had 6 points, and that was some of the best 6 points I've seen. Like very athletic, take it to the rack type guy. I was impressed by him. The rookie, he looks he is an athlete like we talked earlier. He's so raw, and he had 9 points. It was good seeing him in person. I think Miles had 46 points. I don't even talk about him at all. But the rest of the team, you don't even know most of them. Seth Curry had a couple shots.
I was about to say, the Seth play when I went and watched them play the Timberwolves earlier in the week, and they Seth
he hit it 3 times, so he went up higher on that 3-point.
Yeah, I was about to, he went
the father son 3-point list.
He went 5 for at one point. Wednesday night he was 5 for 5, and he was 4 for 4 from behind the arc.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Tom, I'll say this: Darius Garland is nasty.
He's good.
I don't know if there's anything.
They had to work to keep him in Cleveland, but he helps us out. I mean, he could have a big game.
I wouldn't want to have to guard him and deal with him at all. Like he's now. I will say this: it's the NBA. Everybody talks smack. The Hornets started talking smack early, and he was talking a lot back to the bench and stuff. At that point, you win by 1 against a bad team, maybe concentrate on not talking so much.
Make sure you pull out the W.
but he's solid. Mitchell is solid in person. Mobley and Allen, they're pretty big guys to see out there. Mitchell's just I'm not
going to take nothing away from him. He can play.
Yeah, I've always liked him. So, but yeah, I was impressed by Garland. I was really
role players.
53 and 10 and 13 straight wins. I think they opened up the season with 16, 17 straight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
there was a guy. There was a few Cavs fans very concerned about the streak.
Yeah. Well, that's perfectly understandable. But you're going to have a bad game every now and then. But you know what? If you have a bad game and you still win, it's a win. Move on.
I do hope nobody took my advice yesterday that asked me about that game. I was like, "Oh, Cavs by 35 tonight, boys."
Especially after the Hornets were just getting destroyed.
Right.
To set the
One by
record
one.
for the biggest margin of loss in 3 straight games. Yeah. I don't think Ball was playing. They might not have had Miles Bridges playing either. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But they were down a few starters and getting blown out.
Here's how you can make stats lie. Here's the greatness.
That is.
The only players in NBA history, 800 games, averaged 13, 5, 1.4, 49%, and 30% three-pointers. If any of that, there's your Mike Trout stats for you.
That is young.
That's how you squeeze in people like that in those conversations. You ever thought Thaddeus Young is an all-time great, Tom?
No, not.
I didn't even know there was. I thought Thaddeus Young signed the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, it sounds like a name it did. Yeah.
So here's Magic with some comments.
I don't know if you saw this, but Gilbert asked Steph Curry, who's the greatest point guard of all time.
Are you the best point guard ever?
Yes.
Do you think Steph has surpassed you as the greatest point guard of all time?
Okay, so if he got more than 5 championships, if he got more than 3 finals MVP and 3 league MVPs, number 1 in assists all time in the finals, number 2 in double doubles, number 1 in triple doubles, number 4 in steals all time in the playoff. If he got more than those numbers, he's the best.
Let me ask you this.
So now we're going after Magic.
Oh, yeah.
Steph's not even top 3.
So when Magic retired, you know, a lot of people had him in the argument as the best player ever. I remember because you remember Michael was just winning his first 3 at that point, so that was him putting him in the conversation with them, and a lot of people did have Magic still in there, and there was argument, was it Magic or Kareem? And I've got highlights that I was going to show of this right here, and I'm going to say it was Magic and not Kareem, because I'm going to watch Wilt Chamberlain absolutely destroy Kareem here for a minute 22. Like, he's probably Lou Alcindor at this point. But I mean, not many people's blocking the sky hook, and just Wilt was just taking it to him. But just block the sky hook, block the sky hook. That's crazy. I'm sure there's something else. The Russell get it in on Terry. I'm sure it's something else. Just like, that's just beating Kareem shot back in the face. I've never seen this highlight of these two like playing against each other. This is old Will, right, Terry?
That's. I mean, he's with the Lakers. It's later in his career.
That's old Will, young Kareem.
Yeah.
Just taking video on him. Like,
And I don't think they had the best relationship. I don't think they were.
well, no, because you know they started saying the Kareem was
you
the best,
wouldn't.
and Wilt's like, I'm like, not. What do you think,
Yeah.
Terry?
All you do is go back and let's watch this.
Right.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Right, like I'm just.
You know, he's learning. There's the difference. Wilton's older. Kareem's coming in. He's learning. He's learning everything that he can do at the center position against this guy. So,
Yeah.
Well, it's
Kareem had his sky hook and Magic Johnson, but
just gonna tell you this. You know, Kevin, Shaq's better than either one of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ask
now,
anybody today.
I will
Yes.
say this. A minute
Yes.
ago
Shaq's
when
better
they
than
was
either one.
asking, didn't they
you're
ask?
being sarcastic, right?
No, I'm,
Yes, I am
but
being
I'm being
sarcastic.
real.
Conversation we brought up a
I
couple
was
weeks
about to
ago.
say,
Yeah.
I think Shaq would. I don't think Kareem can guard Shaq. I don't know if Shaq can guard Kareem, but Wilt, I think, would be okay
Guard
with
either one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was 20 points, 24 rebounds, and 10 blocks against Kareem.
Yeah, Wilt was good, man.
He was
But let me-
35-year-old after patellar tendon repair.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Go ahead, Terry.
All right. What I want to ask is, didn't they not ask Curry, "Are you the best point guard?"
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You're going to say he's not a point guard.
He's not. I'd like to know how many assists Draymond Green's gave him.
Please pull up the Oscar Robertson
I mean-
clip again, please. God.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, is that not what we're talking about?
I mean, does
Magic
Steph
made everybody else better around him. Does Steph make everybody else better around him? Maybe him scoring points, but as far
there's
as
an argument that could be made. He
everything else,
does.
He does not. He does not make everybody else better around him. He can shoot. I'm never going to take that away from him. He's one of the best shooters that we've ever had. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to take that away.
Well, Chip put it this way: who's the best role player they've ever had that wasn't already like a star? So if he does make people better, who did he make better? Name one role player that ever played for the Warriors that isn't like really an all-star. I guess Draymond.
No, I was going to say Andrew Wiggins.
I'd love to
He's
pull
what,
up how
number one
many
overall pick?
assists that
Yeah,
Draymond
that
has
don't-
gave Curry.
Everyone he's ever had.
Oh, good
Would you
God.
still? You would forgive me for saying this. You're going to consider
Maybe
Clay a star?
Draymond the point guard.
Yeah, I got to.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
If you consider Scottie Pippen a star, then Klay Thompson a star.
Scottie Pippen's better than Klay Thompson. Scottie Pippen's a no doubt Hall of Famer. Klay Thompson,
everything that Scottie Pippen did, it was better than Klay Thompson,
except for shooting a 3-pointer.
But at the end of the day, they both averaged 16 points in their careers.
But Scottie's stats go beyond just points.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Klay was a top defender in the league.
Yeah, he was a defensive.
He was like one
Fair
of the
enough.
best defenders
Until he
in the
got
league.
hurt.
I think him being out 2 years definitely.
It hurt his legacy. Yes, I would agree with that, Tom.
But Durant, Iguodala, like anybody you name that was like, there is no Steve Kerrs, there is no like Horace Grants, there is no Tony Kukocs that someone like, that was a role player that never was an all-star that like contributed to
Tony
the
was
Warriors.
pretty good, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but he wasn't an all-star. But
Jordan made him better.
Right. That's what I'm kind of saying. That's what Terry's saying about the point guard thing as far as Curry.
See, that's where when people ask me and I go back.
Iverson, is he a point guard? No. I consider Iverson and Terry, him and Curry the same thing.
It's just very small too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Curry runs like a two guard. He don't run the offense like a point guard.
It's like when people ask me the best people that come from state, and I'll say Nate McMillan. A lot of people say, "What about David Thompson?" Nate McMillan did everything, from making you better as far as a point guard to rebounds to assists. I mean, stealing. I mean, defense. Everything that you could think.
That's a valid point. I see your point, but I'm still taking David Thompson.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of people would. It's like they're going to take Steph Curry.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Like Steph and Iverson. Here's what they do. Mm-hmm. The offense is run for them to score. That's not a point guard, and that's what that's what Terry's talking about. There is that their offense. Magic brings up the ball. Stockton brings up the ball to run the offense to get the best score possible. They're running the offense to get Iverson and Curry a shot.
Watch Golden State play and name me how many times that Green brings up the ball. Quite often, he brings it up.
Yeah, you bring your power forward out the middle.
It's your point forward, kind of like your Anthony Mason used to be. Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't guard Draymond. I just stand below the 3-point line until he gets there. Like, I don't know. But all right, is this the ugliest free throw form? Well, we've had some ugly ones throughout the years. This is I don't know.
Contract. Who can forget Yogi Mania up in Portland?
That gives Bill Cartwright a run for his money right there.
What did we just see?
What
this guy's name?
What's it?
He one's hands it.
Did he use the force?
No,
what in the world?
It comes out like this or something. Look at that.
Did it go in?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
then what?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not effective, but
I don't take nothing away from a kid who keeps hitting.
Listen, Tom. we the Charlotte Hornets wasted a draft pick on someone who does this. A number 2 overall. Again, this is the NBA. How do you make the NBA and do this? Like, I just.
Did it go in?
Yes, these guys get paid millions of dollars.
I want to know how much he gets paid.
That's what I'm saying.
It went in.
I want to know how much he makes.
Is being tall.
But it went in. I mean, why are we critiquing?
I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that.
I mean,
I'm not going to change.
What is he? Is he a 7-footer, right?
I don't know.
I'm not going to change somebody if he continues to hit.
If you've got a 7-footer that hits 70%, you're good.
He's staying with.
How about Steph Curry's first dunk in what was it? 6 years.
I think his last one he said too.
Yeah, he said he wouldn't do it again. So here you go, getting up 6'3".
Get it, Spud.
I know, right? Nate Robinson's a better dunker than Steph Curry.
But he lights it up on threes.
Oh yeah, I ain't got nothing to do. How about a little dribble exhibition? Some from Terry's most hated person, but one of the most underrated NBA players.
Better point guard than Steph Curry.
Yeah, well, he's in the top there. If Curry classifies as a point guard, like I said, I've got him maybe 2. This is the Dominique Wilkins All-Star charity game. Isaiah Thomas is out there putting on a little show for the folks. There's Clyde the Glide. There's James Worthy.
There's Magic.
There's Magic shoes right there. I know those.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's just waiting for Isaiah to get up and give a kiss, though. Zeke.
It's kind of funny. Those guys, I appreciate how good they are now more than I did at the time.
Yes.
You know, I didn't really appreciate how good Magic Johnson is until you sit back and watch some of those highlights and say, man, he was really freaking good.
Well,
man.
and all like the All-Star game, all the drama and stuff between Michael and Isaiah, but man, how good they could read each other in an All-Star game. They were fun to watch play together in an All-Star game.
This is Barkley's been going back and forth with people this week. Draymond was comparing himself to Barkley, and this is Barkley putting up 54 points on Golden State in the playoffs. And and then he got at Kendrick Perkins. I don't know if y'all see that. He called him a fool and was talking about him on. He said we'll talk to the person because I'm gonna be working for y'all fools next year. But him and Kendrick Perkins getting into it this week.
What was the deal?
Perkins said the Lakers saved the league.
What happened with
like, y'all need to get off this Lakers?
Stephen A. and LeBron?
Stephen A. basically had made comments on Bronny, and he didn't like it.
Oh my gosh!
And so Daddy is coming over to protect his son.
And he's a grown man now.
Well, at that point, when you're in the NBA,
you're a grown man, or even if you're in the D League.
Well, my wife Jackie doesn't watch sports that much. You know, I can't remember what the context was. It might have been like we were watching YouTube videos and it just scrolled to the Stephen A. Smith. So he just starts his, you know how Stephen A. does, like he'll start out like me and then he goes into full, like he goes from a 3 to a 10. You know? So my wife looks at me and said, "What's wrong with that man?" I was like, honey, he's always like that. I was like,
he starts very low, and then he gets really excited.
Yeah, I mean, he starts screaming and yelling.
He's like Matt Damon in that SNL skit. I'm going to start at a 3. I'm going to take it to an 11 real quick.
Yeah, he does. I mean, it was just funny to watch the look on her face. She's like, I mean, she was serious. She was like, what's wrong with him? Is he okay? I was like, no, honey, he's just always like that. But, you know.
Check out the future here. This is an LED. This is the Raptors.
Sweet.
This is the Toronto Raptors LED practice court where they can change the court to
That's awesome.
anything they want. So you can put a picture of your kid on there if you
want.
I want
one for my living room.
Right. We're going to LED our living room floors but there's your future right
I
there.
liked it better when it was just a hardwood floor. Didn't you?
Love that. That's awesome.
Hardwood floor.
Break out the parquet.
I tell you what, man, it's just like all the traditions out the window. Somebody asked me last night, though. I know it's a different sport, but a guy who played college baseball, I said, "What do you think of the? You know, they wear the wrist thing that tells them what the pitch is and pitch clock and things." And I said, "I guess it's just progress because you know we have to time and all this stuff. I guess things change, so I guess I got to get used to the basketball. No more traditional hardwoods. They're all going to have this, but."
Well, have that hardwood option as part of the LED option.
Well, check out the Mavericks bench.
Where?
One player. They had 6 players the other night.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
With all the injuries. Mm-hmm. One guy sitting over on the bench.
Can they not promote people from the D League?
No, but think about it. As soon as Anthony Davis come over, he was hurt. Now Kyrie Irving's out for the year. You got a team that was a playoff team that's not going to make it. They're barely in right now.
Don't look. But I mean, okay, OKC's in a entirely different
18,
realm.
19 games.
But who's second in the West right now?
Oh, the Lakers.
The Lakers. I mean, when did?
Yeah.
Right now, that trade's paying off.
We'll see. They play Boston tonight.
I got a couple more things before we go over the standings real quick. Who is the all-time winningest percentage in NBA history as a basketball player?
Percentage?
The all-time winningest percentage. Who walked on the court and who was the number one all time?
Didn't you? We went
from college all the way up through.
No, NBA.
No, Kyle Busch. We're not talking about minor league wins.
How many
okay?
JV games? Did
yeah.
He didn't say that.
Easy there, Crash Davis.
He
all right?
didn't say that.
I thought we went on the. Wasn't it Andre Iguodala? Okay.
It is not. It is who I keep telling you guys. Should be maybe top 5 point guard, if not number one. I mean, small forward, if not number one of all time. Ginobili. Manu. 721. Tim Duncan, 719. And Tony Parker, 711. Those dudes were good. That's what we was talking about the other day, is how good that team was. And That's not Avery Johnson.
How complimentary
Danny
those three
Ferry.
are of each other. Their games just fit so well together, and they got along and played well.
How about 2 minutes? All right, guys, real quick.
And very little ego.
This is actually talking about Charlotte Hornets basketball on national TV. National Rise of Ryan Russillo. And we'll see what you guys think about it.
LaMelo Ball. He's a guy that puts up great
Chandler
numbers
Parsons.
on a bad team. You hear him in the talks about teams seeking interest on him. Is this something that the Hornets should entertain like this summer? Is this like would that just what can you get for a guy like LaMelo Ball? Like what's his value?
His value is probably a little bit lower than 13-year-olds would think.
Thank you. I didn't want to say it, Ryan.
He
Thank you.
is incredibly talented. His start again at his size. Like when you see him when it's nice, you're like, man. And then look, he can see over the top of everybody because of all of his size. But Charlotte is kind of in this Atlanta Hawks thing where you have this franchise guy, you have a local attraction. I've heard it enough. I'm shocked at how often Trey has defended to me because I'm like, look, at least with Trey, he's won some big games and he's not afraid of the moment. So I'll give him that. But I look at some of the LaMelo numbers, like he's at 41% overall this season, and he takes the most shots per game in the NBA. If you look at his field goal attempts per 36 minutes, I looked this up, so I don't know if it's changed a little bit, but a couple weeks ago I looked it up. It's the most field goal attempts per 36 since Kobe in 2006. LaMelo's nice. That should not be something that happens, okay? So they're in this I don't want to say that they're stuck because this ownership group is different. I think they're smart. I think they get it. Again, I don't know that the market for him would be as desirable as maybe the numbers would tell you and the popularity. But this team is stuck. If this is what they're going to run out there every season, where it's like, hey, man, just go for it. He's been through a bunch of coaches. You can see it different times. Every coach that he's had has had moments of like frustration with his approach. So like when it's rolling, it's fun. The shot making, again, the passing, it's not somebody who's without talent, because that would be so unfair of me to say. But his approach to the game holds your franchise back. And I don't know how long it's going to take for him to mature and evolve and get to that point where it's like, you need to find a way to play this game a little bit differently because this doesn't work.
Terry?
Well, we have said that forever and ever and ever, and Tom defends this guy. But as we can see,
hot dog.
It's down to the bottom of the league again, Tom.
No, I agree with I agree with everything that guy says. I'm just saying that all the Jacob Elliott's out there like this kid. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying they like him. They buy his jersey. They show that.
Good. If you want to go watch a loser every year, then that's what you keep.
I'm saying that's what gives him the value because of the fan appeal.
I don't want to go watch him. How many people are down there now?
Yeah, Terry, but
you're not 13.
Seats, but there's empty seats there.
Yeah, but you're just a grumpy old man. I mean, the kids like to watch LaMelo play.
If you trade him right now, there'll be more empty seats right now.
Depends on who you got for him, Chip.
But based on that guy's analysis, I mean, and I don't disagree. If you want to build a winner, which would be my priority, get what you can out of him and start building a team. Because you're not. He is what he said. The thesis of what he said is dead on. You keep running back what you've got right now. It's the behavior of a crazy person.
I think somebody might throw something at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the way the Hornets have drafted, I would rather them trade for players.
That's a valid point too.
Is he the best guy on this team?
Well, I hope this new ownership group though, and the team or the group running the franchise now has a different approach in the draft.
Is he the best guy on this team?
I think
I'd rather have Brandon Miller than him.
I think wife beater's probably.
I forgot about Miller.
Yeah.
I was about to say there's another one.
Yeah.
But with those three, who did?
Look at that. Cavs have already clinched a playoff spot, Terry.
With those three, Terry, which if that's your best players, which one of those jerseys would you want your kid to be wearing?
Which one?
If you're a Hornets fan, whose jersey would you want your kid to wear?
Brandon Miller.
Yep.
I wouldn't want none of them.
I'll take him, and that'd be the first one I'd take for my kid.
Well, he was involved in a murder.
Well, but that's past, and it don't come up no more.
He was
He killed him a couple years ago. We're good. Hey, once you're dead,
you look
people
at
forget
this.
Yeah. Miles Bridges allegedly just smacked her up a few years ago before he got that big deal.
Gibson,
That's what I said.
Green,
We don't have any
Jeffries,
we don't have any good
Mann,
basketball role models.
Yeah, Moore, Nurkic.
We don't have anything.
I mean,
there's an argument that could be made that's an existential problem across
Mark
the board.
Williams, Grant Williams. I mean, who else would you want?
That's what I'm saying.
You're only picking 3 guys. If you're saying the franchise of this team, and you would have to put Ball in there, Bridges in there, and Miller. And then, I would end up going to Seth Curry, I guess, if you want something that's, I mean, who else you going to go pick off this team?
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you want your kid playing like LaMelo Ball or acting like him? No. Do you want him smacking women? No. Do you want him handing guns over in a murder? No. It's like, so who do I want?
Who do you go get?
A Nurkic jersey? Like that's what I'm saying. Like they're 14 and 48. Tom would convince me which jersey to buy.
Yeah. There was a Charlotte radio show.
Come on, like seriously. At some point, you got to look in the mirror.
Get you a Kelly Tripucka jersey.
We got the prettiest color combinations, jersey combinations, maybe in sports, and we can't get a team to even get on TV. Yeah. Speaking of TV, some kid was talking about the Duke Lakers thing the other day. About Duke being on TV a lot. We'll talk about this in a little bit. Is that Duke is supposedly scheduled this year to be on ESPN more than the Lakers, and it was talking about kids staying in school or not. He'll be on ESPN and NIL if he goes a rookie deal. He'll get less money and won't be on ESPN. We'll give ESPN less for his shoe deal. So it was more lucrative for him to go to Duke. Actually, Austin Reeves was talking to her. It was Austin Reeves talking to a kid saying it's to go to Duke for a year than it is to come straight to the Lakers for that. But Tom, you guys have clinched, the only team in the NBA.
Yep, we're getting there. We're ready. We'll be at home for the first series. We're 8 games up on Boston, who is somehow head and shoulders above everybody else, even though they're 8 games back. I think Boston's gonna have a hard time getting out. They might have a hard time getting out of the. They have to play the Heat. Heat might take them out. Magic might take them out. They might not even get to the second round.
The Bucks.
I'm about to say, everybody be worried about Giannis.
Yeah,
I would be worried about Giannis as well because that's who we conceivably could face in the second round, and that will be.
And they've got a killer who can make a last shot too on that team. So
then we'll see how good Mobley is. Yeah, wrong answer there.
What do you mean? You didn't answer the question.
That's what I'm talking about.
You didn't even answer the question.
Yeah, there's no answer there, Tom. Mobley against Giannis. That don't even be in the same page on the same answer and even have the same zip code.
It won't be on the same page, the same answer. I mean, I'm trying to make sense of this word salad here. I think what he's trying to say is Mobley is not an answer for Giannis. I think that's what he's trying to enunciate. He does have a little bit of a problem with communication, but I'd say we have Allen and Mobley. We have, you know what, we got a foul guy on the bench too. We can always bring in Tristan Thompson to go in there and hammer him a couple
y'all got
times.
him on y'all's roster.
Yeah, he's on the roster too.
You'll need them all.
So we what's that? Tristan Thompson's been on the roster. Yeah, he is. They brought him back.
I thought he retired.
He can go in there and be the foul guy. Go in there and nail him. Go in there and get him one time. But I think I like
that'd be Mitchell against Leonard. That'd be neat.
Yeah,
that'd be a good.
They'll both score a ton.
That would not be. It'd be Garland would have to guard him. There's no way you're gonna put Mitchell up there to guard Leonard or Leonard to guard Mitchell. That's not gonna happen.
Well, I think it'll be a fun series. It'll be tough. I mean, once you get rid of the crap in the East, there's a lot of crap. It'll be fun. Once you get down to the last 4 teams, it'll be fun.
Well, I just hope the NBA didn't fix them a Celtics-Lakers series again, like we always. Like Kendrick said, the Lakers have saved the NBA. And I'm watching all these tweets. That someone tweeted nobody suffered like us, like Lakers fans, tweeting out
oh my gosh.
And so it's one of those things if that team's not good. We've survived. It's been okay.
Look,
talk to a Hornets fan.
Can I make a comparison here? Look, The New York Yankees haven't won a World Series in a long time. Yeah. I'm not going to make any comment that nobody has suffered like we have. Oh, please, give me a break.
Yeah, so they're the number 2 team in the West now. So there you go, Tom. They're better than Jokic. And
I mean, they've done more with what they've got here than what I thought they would do. I thought they really hurt themselves. They've proven me wrong.
Can you imagine if, I know this is a big if LeBron can light some kind of fire under thank you, Luka, and he actually gets himself into shape.
I think Jokic just proved you don't need to be a physical freak to dominate.
But I'm just saying what Luka's game is, and then get him in shape. Just how the next level that would take it.
You know, to a certain extent, Barkley was like that, man. I mean, some of these guys just aren't.
Barkley was in better shape, I think, than people realize. He was.
I don't trust the Lakers until they play somebody who's going to play Luka and do what Boston did to him, where you're going to make him play defense. We're going to attack you through him. Because Luka's still going to have to play defense against somebody.
Well, OKC can do that to him.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
I'm not trusting Luka and LeBron to play defense for anybody. Yeah. Seriously,
the West still goes through OKC.
Being hyped for a regular season game and doing your things, they need their role players to do their thing. But just the whole vibe of and everything of him ended up on the Lakers is just. I'm not a Mavericks fan. I can only imagine how they feel and everything, and they've had success. But
how all this massive trade and all these plans that their GM had just have completely backfired, at least in the short term.
Well, but for Dallas, this went haywire.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, even Cuban yesterday or the day before said
he didn't even know they made the trade.
Well, he's not involved in the decision making process anymore. He's only got like 25% ownership, so he's not involved in the decision making.
Really but
he said he was like, we should have got more for Luka. He's like, if you're going to trade him, he's like, I would have never traded him, but if you're going to, fine. He says, we should have got Anthony Davis, one other player from the Lakers, and 4 first-round picks. He said that's what I would. That would have been my floor, and we should have been able to get that.
What did they get for him?
They got even Davis trade. What?
Anthony Davis and Max Christie and
Max. Okay,
and no picks. No picks came with the deal.
I can't remember if there was one later.
I'm trying to see.
I think there was one, if I remember off the top of my head. But it was it wasn't like.
And Anthony Davis played what? One game?
Half a game.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And then he's out.
Yeah,
the trades. Gracious. Let's see.
And then to turn around and lose Kyrie Irving like a couple weeks later.
The Lakers got Luka. Maxi Kleber, I don't know if I'm saying Markieff Morris. The Mavericks got AD, Max Christie, and 1 first-round pick, and 2029 first-round pick from the Lakers. Gotcha. And both of them got $55,000 from the Jazz. The Jazz got Jalen Hood, Shafino, 2025 second-round pick from the Lakers, and a 2025 second-round pick from the Mavericks.
Second-round picks, man, those are valuable.
Nothing.
Right. They're just kind of like a shot in the dark.
All right, only one. All right, I don't know who to go to with this one. Only one NBA player. You can spell the words slam dunk with the letters in his name. And I'm going to make Terry read it. Or anybody want to try to read this man's name.
Oh, gosh.
He don't look real.
Sandro?
That's what I said, Sandro.
Good job, guys. What's his last name?
Yeah.
Mamukilashvili.
Sandro Mam.
Mamukilashvili.
Mamukilashvili.
That's all I'm saying.
Mamuka Asheville. That's what that.
Is that
Sandro Mam.
Is that Italian, Tom?
I think it's southeast. Excuse me. That would be yes, southeastern Europe.
Oh, okay.
Sandro Mamukilashvili.
He's from Georgia. He's a Slavic country. She's from Georgia.
If he was in Hollywood, it'd be Sandro Mamu.
Yeah, that would
definitely be it.
That's just it.
Well, that's all I would ever say.
Sandro M. Sandro M.
That's it.
All right, y'all got anything else on the NBA before we move on here and get into some college basketball and stuff?
Man, we're getting to tournament time.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little college sports. JP's going to sit up, do a little work. KDCBroadcasting.com.